Alright, so I tore apart the speedometer on the Z. I broke this area purposely so I could run wires through there. I wanted an area where I could just have a whole, like a flexible area, because on the back of this, you can't really take it apart because there's all this stuff in the back. So you have to kind of remove this before you break it apart. Take off some stuff so you don't damage this, so all the electrical part of it will work. Replacing it with a GPS speedometer. Problem was that the original one, when doing the engine swap, and also on the original engine, these things have a lot of issues. So I decided to do a GPS speedometer. So what I did is I took this, these are all pre-taken apart, so that's why they come apart really easy, but anyhow. So when you pull the needles off, you can use a fork, kitchen fork, to pop these off. Pull this apart, and this was what the original speedometer looks like. These have a lot of issues, like I said. So what I did is I cut a hole right here for the digital display on the GPS speedometer. So on the back, so after I took this apart, pop the needle off, pull the face off, you have your LEDs behind here, you have your digital display which does your mileage and trip and whatever. On the back of it, I ended up purposely breaking the plastic part so I could sneak this out the back, because it originally goes out this hole right here. It would go straight down and wouldn't allow this to sit flush inside the cluster. I also broke off this small area so it could fit this right here. So once you put this down in, it will sit flat. There we go. So when it will sit flat, you can see what I'm talking about on the side where I cut it out. The rest of it sits right even. And then after, you can pop this on and then use the original speedometer needle. So you're using your original display. You pop the needle in, and obviously the needle is a little bit different, but whatever, because the bottom is a little bit different than the stock one. So let's see if we can adjust this. There we go. So you can see that hole in there. It's a lot bigger on the new one, so you have to use that needle. And then when you're all done, you pop this on. This way it all looks stock, and you don't have to worry about speedometer not working again because you have a GPS one. So on the back, I just peeled this back, took off all the lights and screws and whatever, so I could hot glue this to the back. And now you can get to the set mode, whatever. I mean, you don't, if you're really interested in a tripometer, I mean, I really don't care. This is why I did it this way, because this is going to go over it, and obviously you'll never be able to access this, but whatever, I don't care. It's not a daily driver anyhow, so whatever. Hot glue it so it stays on the back and has a good mounting point. You gotta use more than glue, fiberglass, whatever you want to use. It's kind of what I'm using right now. Alright, so I have this all with the digital underneath of the speedometer for the tripometer and the mileage. I've got a few miles on it already. GPS speedometer is the only thing that is hooked up currently. Just trying to get the mileage, I mean a speedometer close. So I'm taking it off here. Speedometer works nicely. The needle is a little bit small, but at least I'm using a stock face to the speedometer, so everything looks original. If you don't mind the smaller needle, not a big deal. It's not a daily driver anyhow. Alright, so I have the speedometer inside my house here. I got it hooked up to an AC/DC converter here. Anyhow, I did the mock-up with the GPS so you can see it, what it would look like at night with the lights on in the suite. And this will tell you your trip and your mileage, and that's how bright it would be. And obviously these are not on.